Okay, the next review we're going to do is 25 through 27, working with our absolute values. Now, if you'll remember back when we did absolute values before, we talked about the fact that if I take the absolute value of 3, I get 3, and the absolute value of 3, negative 3 is 3, and 3 is also 3. So we've got to remember that when we do our equations. So on this one, since everything here is divided by 7, I need to go ahead and multiply my 7 to both sides. Okay, now, because of what I said over here, then I know what's inside here. Okay, what's inside there could be 14, okay, or it could also be a negative 14, because both of those, when I take the absolute value of 14 is 14, absolute value of a negative 14 is 14, okay? So that is where I get my two equations. So that orange piece could equal 14 or a negative 14. Don't ever change this piece, never change, okay? Okay, the rest is just solving. Once you get your two equations up, the rest should be easy. And then you could check yourself if you wanted to, because 8 plus 6 is absolute value of 14, which is 14. 20, negative, plus 6 is a negative 14, which is also 14. Okay? And you see how by checking it, I also caught that I dropped my negative. You probably already caught that. Okay? 26. Very similar. Absolute value of a negative 8 plus 2n all over 5 equals 3. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3 is 9. So again, the absolute value there, what's in there, could be a negative 9, that'll give me 9, or a 9, that will give me 9. So I'm going to set up my two equations. Oops. Yeah, go ahead and do that. I usually do the positive one first, but that one I put the negative. It doesn't matter. Okay, and then we're just going to solve. Guys, I don't take too much time solving because the hope is that you should be able to handle that piece now. And you can leave it 17 halves, okay? Now, one of the things that you do need to remember with absolute value is always positive. So if once I get to this step here, okay, and if that number is negative, then it's a no solution. We can't do that, okay? Or if it's 0, 0 doesn't have a positive and negative, so you don't have to set up two equations. Okay, and then the final one is 27. So a negative 4 okay. So here is my absolute value piece of it. So again, kind of how I did the others, guys, you want to leave it alone. So that means I'm going to need to add the 9 over. Remember, we always add and subtract first. That would be a negative 24. Now I'm going to divide off the negative 4. Here's my absolute value piece of it. Now that is equal to 6. It's no longer equal to a negative, so I can continue. So I'm going to set up my two equations. And again, from there, it's just solving. Okay, and there's my two answers. Okay, so that is solving of absolute values.